And hello, everybody. My name is Russell Frost. Welcome to What Drives Us, episode 168 for January. I gotta look. January 6th, 2016. I didn't say the wrong number. 2016. Welcome and hello. We wish you all a happy new year. And just to make sure that you feel welcomed into the new year, we have what might be the biggest panel I can recall seeing in the last 6 months. It is a horrifying rogues gallery of angry vehicle experts ready to dissect the news for you this week. So let's introduce them and get them on the road. My partner in crime, my co-host, the man in all brand new Under Armour, Mr. Danny Cooper.
It just looks brand new because that's the way I roll. Or something.
Wow.
Happy 2016, everybody. I'm glad to be back on the show. And I had to get a Mountain Dew instead of a beer this week because I've gotten so used to going to sleep early. Can't wait for the third kid to come.
How was that 4 o'clock buffet today?
Yeah. Danny's fighting over tater tots at the Golden Corral. That's big.
You got to fight those old people to get to the chocolate waterfall thing in time.
Oh, yeah. You still drinking cups of that?
Mm-hmm. Oh, it's so good.
Oh, yeah.
That's the best ribeye I've ever had is at Golden Corral.
Oh, God.
On that
and do you have like a brunch at Cracker Barrel?
Oh, ouch.
Yeah, we have an early brunch about, it's like a 5:30 a.m. brunch. That holds us until about 4 o'clock for our dinner.
Nice, nice. Well, let's go on with the rest of the panel. He's our man in the Chevrolet Volt, Mr. Mark Coughlin.
Hello, greetings from the Great White North. And it is white now.
Wow.
Oh, you got
took long enough.
Finally.
Finally, wow. Is it like 700 below zero?
No, it's not even near that. It's just about freezing. It's not too bad.
Oh, good. Yeah. Excellent. Well, speaking of rocking in a cold place, our man in Chicago, Illinois, Mr. Tony Shaver.
It's not as cold in Chicago as it is in Canada. Fortunately, we have random gunfire to keep us warm.
I understand if you hold the barrel, it gets hot.
Yes, that's how we warm our hands, actually. Yeah.
I've heard that. It doesn't
works.
work with Glocks, oddly enough. It's something about the polymer. But
yeah.
We're gonna skip to a better topic. Our gentlemanly friend in the Pacific Northwest, we like to call him Patrick Connor.
Hello from Oregon. Well, I've been giving these little Oregon tidbits here, and this week's is that for the third year in a row, Oregon has been the state with the most immigration. So people keep moving here, and 3 years is about how long I've been on this show. So I'm just going to say it's a horrible place. That's how much this time.
You finally adopted the California attitude. It's horrible here. Don't come.
Exactly. Yeah.
Either that or somebody owes you some referral money. Some realtors.
Exactly correct.
I'll take it.
And speaking of the West, he's in the Midwest. He's no.
Great segue. Yeah,
What?
you're rocking.
You know what? That hurts, Evan. That really hurts. So he's the jerk in the Tesla. Cut me off. It's Dr. Evan Fusco.
Hey everybody, how y'all doing? Hey, I'm rocking a P90 dual motor Tesla for a couple days here. Well, my car's up in St. Louis getting a little service done, and it's got the autopilot. Got to check that out this week. Lots of fun.
I just want to point out to everyone in the audience, I want you to revel in the full 1080p Evan Fusco that none of us have ever seen before. Okay? Look at this guy.
Yeah.
He's not orange. I don't know who he is.
He's got you can hear him, and he's got a camera.
He got a webcam for Christmas?
Yeah, I don't know.
No.
Maybe a whole new house. I can't tell.
I all I can say is I'm impressed. That's all. And last and most definitely not least, our man near the Continental Divide from Boulder Hybrid Conversions, Mr. Paul Guzik.
Hey, Happy New Year. Glad to be back, and nice to see everybody tonight.
Good to have you back, Paul.
Thanks for coming, Paul.
Yeah. Hey, Evan, you think your Tesla will get flooded there in Missouri, and maybe they'll give you a new one?
Man,
Park it next to the river?
if I could figure out a way to get a 90D, I would be all about it. I'll tell you what. But I do have my $500 million Powerball ticket, so I'm thinking new Tesla in the near future.
All right. Keep thinking.
For everybody on the panel, right? If you win the...
Nice.
You better believe it.
I'm sorry. I'm having trouble wrapping my head around this. You pull your P90D Tesla into 7-Eleven, so you could buy a new Tesla?
Well, it's Casey's here, but same general idea.
Yeah.
I got nothing.
I did have a guy with rotting teeth wish me luck on the thing. That's a good omen.
At least he was nice about it. I'll give him that.
He was very nice about it.
That's certainly more than I get lots of places I go, but that might be more a reflection of me than them. So let's move on to 2-minute topics. I'm going to go back in the order we introduced everybody. Cooper, I don't even know if you have a...
Not really. I mean, it could probably my topic for the week could probably end up becoming a bigger topic. So.
Well, we're going to talk about that.
Yeah. So we'll just move on.
We'll move on. Well, then let's talk. Let's go to Mr. Mark Coughlin, who I know does have a 2-minute topic.
Yeah. Just today, as a matter of fact, the Chevy Bolt was brought up at CES by Mary Barta, who is the acting chairwoman now at GM, and she brought up some facts about the car. Not everything we wanted to hear, but certainly we heard about the 200 miles of range it's going to have, as well as the other options that they highlighted was the 10.2-inch the touchscreen display. The special rear camera mirror that flips to show you a multi-camera angle view from the outside. Pretty neat. Gives you a wider field of range to view, which was interesting to see. As well as they're toting a new My Chevrolet mobile app that connects with it. And of course, they're saying the car was built with this ride-sharing lift ability built in. So they built the car with the thought of using it in ride sharing through an Uber-like service, Lyft, and that was kind of interesting as well. And another thing they spoke about was the gamification of the car, where they allow you to compete with other Bolt drivers for best mileage and little kilowatts used, all sorts of little tidbits where you get on 1 through 10 list of where you sit with all the Bolt drivers. So some interesting things they're introducing, but really the meat and potatoes we haven't really heard yet. There was a leak that said that it's going to be 9 hours to charge on a level 2 charger, but they didn't give the amount. So we don't know the kilowatt battery size, and we don't know how fast it charges at what speed. There are estimates and guesses out there that this is probably a 6.6 or a 7.2 charging with a 60 kilowatt battery is the guessing point. So we'll see if that holds true. Maybe there'll be some more release at the Detroit Auto Show coming up next week. We're not sure.
What about the name? Are they going to change the name?
No, it is sticking. It is the Bolt.
Is the Bolt.
Any guess what the third Chevrolet car is going to be that's electrified?
The Dolt.
Dolt.
Yeah.
Or they should just come back out with the Colt. And,
There you go.
Right, yeah. Right.
My guess is on Jolt.
Jolt.
yeah, there we go.
Colt would be a good one.
My favorite cola. Yeah, the
All the
Jolt. I
caffeine.
like that. Twice the sugar and all the caffeine.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. Or was it all the sugar and twice the caffeine?
There you go.
Oh, I missed that. Well, thank you, Mark. Very nice. And I'm looking forward to seeing that car. And that's supposed to hit at the end of 2016.
Correct.
I think the only thing you didn't mention is that Chevrolet is claiming that car is going to come in with the federal tax credit to just under $30,000.
They've been pretty persistent in insisting on that.
Yeah.
Does anybody think what does this mean that it's going to be like lift ready. I don't understand what that means. It's just a built-in app that will integrate with the navigation system.
They said that a lot of these features that it has were built with lift in mind, supposedly, but there are also features that you just get from having an EV, such as the completely flat back seat to easily have 3 people in the back seat, and then the camera stuff that Mark was talking about. A lot of that is to make it easier to pick up pedestrians that are, around the car and whatnot. So you don't have to, so a person can pull up to where the pedestrian is instead of running them over.
Yeah.
Good plan.
That's instead of looking out the window.
And that's a feature most cars don't have, because usually you do have to run them over.
That'll give you a bad review on Lyft.
Oh, no.
Not a lot of repeat customers.
Right.
And then, and maybe I wasn't paying attention, the rapid charging capability, they're guessing around 50 kilowatts, which is going to be pretty nice if they really get that spread out.
Yeah, Mark, did you hear if that was the SAE combo that they might do?
There is supposed to be a DC charge as well, but again, the details have not been released. But they're kind of going for that 30, 40 minutes, 80% of the charge. That's what I've heard. But again, there's no details yet.
Right.
Yeah, GM was one of the big backers of the 1772 combo. They were not a fan of CHAdeMO, so it's got to be the SAE standard one.
Okay.
Yeah. If you can get 150 miles range in 30 to 40 minutes, that's not so bad.
Nope, not at all.
No.
Right. I mean, nothing to complain about, especially if they can do it cheaply. Good. I hope they do. I hope the Bolt rocks because, it looks cool. Mr. Schaefer.
My 2-minute topic is intentionally a lame topic, and that's why I picked it, because Autoblog has an article that they put out that with the headline, "Despite hype, Nissan Leaf outsells Tesla Model S 2-1." Come on, really?
It's all about hype.
Surprised it wasn't 4-1, because that's what the cost difference is.
and so the article goes on to talk about how the Volt and how the Volt has outsold the Model S, and how the Nissan Leaf has sold twice as many. They sold twice as many Leafs as they have Volts, and you just read this article and you're thinking, oh my God, this is one of the stupidest comparisons ever. And yet I clicked on it. Damn it.
So wait, what was the source of this?
This was Autoblog.
Autoblog, okay.
Yeah, that kind of speaks for itself.
It's what you pay for.
Yeah, I mean it's crazy. How again, the only reason I mentioned it was just because of how generally stupid it is to try to compare the sale numbers of Teslas to cars manufactured by General Motors and Nissan. An actual representation would be how many new cars are sitting on lots unclaimed and how many used cars are sitting around unclaimed.
Maybe a better representation is who hit target sales. And Tesla hit their target sales of 50,000 Model S is sold in 2015, and that's what investors like, and that's keeping on track.
Right. It did say that Nissan is down 40% through November.
Yeah, I think Tesla's up a little bit more than that.
So I just that's the only reason I brought this up. I saw this article and I just thought, this is so stupid, I have to talk about it.
It's like saying, Chevy Cruze outsells Mercedes. It's like
right.
It's a completely different class of vehicle.
Oh, we've been talking about that for a couple of years, right? With them comparing the Leaf and the Volt.
Right.
Yeah.
Two different cars.
Yeah.
Oh, and in other shocking news, you don't save money over a Prius by buying a Model S. So just anybody was wondering.
Thanks for clearing that up.
Yeah.
I was
a lot of confusion out there.
I had read that somewhere.
That's been on my mind a lot lately. Well, let's skip over to Mr. Connor.
Okay, so last time Russell asked us to do predictions for 2016, and apparently I'm the only one who did any homework. So
Thank you very much.
You thought he was serious?
I guess so.
I have a prediction. You're not the only one. I predicted that Pat would be the only one to actually do a prediction.
I
think I win.
Increment by 1. Okay, so since I'm the only one that did this, you guys can feel free to rip on me and tell me how wrong I am, and then you have no.
No.
Anyway,
Okay.
Wait, are there 2015 predictions that we can rip people on now that it's 2016?
Oh, yeah, maybe we should. I don't know. We didn't do predictions last year. So.
I remember Evan saying the Model S would be the most popular passenger vehicle in the U.S., surpassing Camry and Corolla combined.
And the F-150.
It was
Very
close.
close.
Yeah,
Very close.
Almost.
I'm pretty sure we could piece together the audio on that, Russell.
Yeah,
if we needed to.
absolutely sure.
Oh, that'd be great.
No.
Okay, so here are my predictions. This one's easy. Rumors about Apple's car, Project Titan, and possible Tesla takeovers will continue throughout 2016. but at the end of it, we'll know little, if any, more than we do today about Apple's car plans. And speaking of Tesla, Tesla will not be bought out by Google or Apple or anyone else. Of course, Model X sales are going to ramp up this year, and the hype's going to start for the Model 3. I'm also going to predict that Tesla will quietly close their battery swap stations. So those were closely tied to the refueling times for the carb credits, and I think those rules have changed now. So there's my prediction that they're gonna close those. We'll see if it happens.
All right.
It certainly hasn't been something they've been talking about proliferating, so it's got to go one way or the other.
I don't know if they even finished them.
I think they had one or two that were operational.
Yeah, they did. They still do theoretically, but they get little use. Though, that's an interesting prediction, especially considering it's not my 2-minute topic today. But we can talk about, I guess, over the holiday there were some pretty long lines, people waiting several hours
I saw
to
pictures.
get their car supercharged. There were a couple factors that came into play there. One, it was the holiday weekends, and there have been a lot more Teslas sold over the past year or so. Second is there was a fire or something that closed one of the main interstates that people typically commute wherever that route is in California, and so about twice as many Teslas pretty much in that area. So so I think that factored in, but it's interesting. Peak times are right when you need those battery swap stations. Now I don't know if you can keep them up and running the rest of the year besides a couple holiday weekends a year, but interesting opportunity there if they did want to keep it going.
Yeah, as they sell more cars, like you said, they put 50,000 more on the roads. They're going to have to start putting out more stations, more supercharger stations.
Mm-hmm.
I will say the other day I was driving through eastern Oregon, not far from where the wingnuts are
What are
holding
you
up.
doing there?
I was wondering, did you drop them off some snacks?
And I did go by a supercharger facility in Baker City, Oregon, and they had 8 chargers and 0 people using them.
Yeah,
So
and I think that's
the Christian militia just don't seem to be buying the Tesla.
They're hard to put a gun rack in.
That's right.
Keep them in the front.
Yes.
As soon as Tesla makes a truck, then they'll sell some over there.
So what you're saying, Paul, is all the people who were waiting in line at the superchargers should have just gone to the superchargers in Oregon because they were wide
That's
open.
right. They were Eastern
See?
Oregon.
There's
Probably
your
not
solution
Portland,
right
but
there.
Right.
It's as simple as that.
Nice. Well, Patrick, are those all your predictions?
No, I've got a few more.
Please.
I'll keep
Oh,
going.
dear.
So, Tesla Model 3. I'm going to predict that the batteries will be different. They're not just going to be the 18650s that they've bundled for other things. Now that Tesla's making them on their own, why not go from scratch and redesign something cool and interesting and different?
Mm-hmm.
So we'll see. I have one about Faraday Future, but I'll save that. And then
Save that for the
save
future.
a prediction.
Later in the show, yeah.
Oh, wait until that's right.
Yeah, I'll wait till 2017 to tell you about that.
Right.
I have a prediction for 2017. In North Las Vegas opens up the largest indoor roller rink on the planet.
Oh.
For some factory this no
or
longer
the
being
Las
used.
Vegas Convention Center moves to North Las Vegas.
Yeah.
A great deal on an empty building.
Yeah. Yeah. Boy, and that's a fine location, too. The toxic waste out there is only like 6 inches deep, so.
Nice.
Okay.
Yeah.
So here's my last one. In 2015, electric cars got first and second place in the Pikes Peak Challenge. So in 2016, I'm going to predict that they're going to take another title, and I don't know what it'll be. Maybe the TT0 will beat the time of the gas bike in the Isle of Man race.
Yeah.
Ah. Okay.
There you go. That's
They've
my
been working
predictions.
hard on that one.
Yeah.
Hard.
All right.
Awesome, Patrick. Well, listen, congratulations to you for having the guts to
Be mostly wrong.
predictions out there. No,
Right.
man. I respect, my brother. That's beautiful. That's beautiful. And speaking of respect, let's go to Evan Fusco. And Evan, I have your photo for you.
Thank you. So,
Okay.
yeah, so, it's been a couple years. There were a few Teslas that caught on fire, about 2 years ago now, I think, due to some high-speed impact issues.
You said doo-doo.
Washington, yep.
that
place.
were subsequently resolved by adding a little reinforced plate at the bottom, and we had no more fires until the was it New Year's Day, and this was a Tesla Model S that was on a temporary or portable supercharger system in Norway, and the owner had plugged it in, had gone off to get a cup of coffee or something, and apparently came back to find his car engulfed in flames. And we don't know much more than that about the situation right now. The latest report I saw was that police had released the charging station where the actual chargers are, not the things that you plug into, but the little building off to the side. And
Hang on, isn't that a charring station?
Too soon, Paul. Too soon. And in any case, they'd released that, like they would a crime scene, and had determined that was not a factor in the fire itself. So they're still trying to figure it out. But as you can see from the photo, there's not a whole lot left to investigate about this car. It is. It was completely consumed. Yeah, you can see the little bit of upright material you see in the B pillars. Those are steel, and almost all the aluminum, which is the vast majority of the body, is completely melted away. Now it's got a much lower burning point than steel, obviously, and so that got fairly hot. But it was pretty impressive if you look at some of the videos out there.
Does look like it's on a farm or something, right?
Yeah, I was going to say, is it just me or does anyone else get the impression that the buildings around it are little wooden shacks?
Like Amish town or something.
There is another photo of it that shows it from a different angle, and you can kind of see like a strip mall in the screen you can't see right now.
Right, and there's some pretty good videos out there. They'll put in the fire out thing and all that. So we're all kind of waiting to see what it is. There's really not enough information to know if this is something that's a fault of the charger, if it's something. If the batteries got overheated, somebody speculated that perhaps the air intakes that allow for cooling of the battery while it's supercharging, which is an active process. You plug it into the supercharger and you can hear the coolant pump fire up, and it's actually fairly loud. Since this was in Norway, that those may have gotten plugged with snow and potentially overheated if the system didn't shut itself off like it's supposed to. So there's all kinds of speculation. Nobody really knows what happened, and it's entirely possible somebody dropped a cigarette on the upholstery inside the car, and that's what caught it on fire.
Yeah, the driver was a smoker.
He was on his way back from picking up gas for his lawnmower. It's really just like a gas car fire.
He dropped his crack pipe.
That's not good. Well, thank you, Evan, for that. And last but not least, once again, Paul.
My 2-minute topic is kind of interesting. It's about subsidiary of RIM, or BlackBerry, I guess they're called now, is QNX operating system is being adopted by Ford and possibly Toyota as the infotainment system, which supposedly plays with both Apple and Google. So it's all fluff right now, but that would be exciting if they can actually come up with something that works with both popular smartphone platforms and gives consumers what they want. So,
Wow.
yeah, so we'll see. So it's QNX is the operating system. And I read another release this week about at CES, cars were big and toys in cars were big. No one cares about horsepower. Everybody cares about integrating their smartphone into their car. So go figure, you know. Toyota, are you listening?
No, they're not.
Millennial.
No,
Yeah.
they're not listening. But we'll get to that news topic a little bit later. Kicking off this week, and by the way, thanks everybody for the 2-minute topics this week. Thank you very much. I want to jump right into one of the things that we've reported on a couple of times here, and it's certainly one of it's replaced Fisker in sort of like the alt car hall of shame. Faraday Future has been a vanguard, a leader in overhyped smoke and mirrors, no content marketing. Since they made their first press release, and since then a string of other press releases that said absolutely nothing but how they were going to change everything about the world, all led up to yesterday. At the opening night of the Consumer Electronics Show in Las Vegas, where Faraday Future unveiled their concept vehicle and talked about what they're really about. So at this point now, I'm going to step back and let you guys have at it, even though I have a whole list of things. So please.
Do you want the picture now?
Yeah, please, Tony, give
yeah.
us the picture. Show us the exciting.
Now, here's what's missing from this. Well, I don't know if it's actually missing because I can't tell, but if you see any picture other than this one, and maybe you can see it on this one, there's that middle fin that runs through the back.
The clear plexi one, yes.
Yeah. Is that simply because this car is so aerodynamically inept that they're worried that it'll just start going sideways?
Yeah, it needed a dorsal fin.
You know what it is? It's an edge-lit brake light. It's the center post brake light.
Really?
Yes.
Interesting.
Yeah. If you watch the video, they have a ton of like fake videos of this car driving. Driving through a virtual environment because it's a virtual car that doesn't really exist.
I bet that bulb's a bitch to change.
Yeah.
Nice. Yeah.
My guess is the front wheels don't turn at all, and the dorsal fin makes it turn in a corner.
Yeah.
It's a rudder. It's a rudder. You know, thousands of year old technology. Who would have thought they'd incorporate that into it? This car is so fake. It's so not real. And Evan was kind enough to say that he saw some pictures of them setting it up, and apparently, like, it's on styrofoam blocks
and cardboard, duct tape.
The whole thing is like plastic.
And you really have to see the top view of this thing to get a full appreciation of how completely impossible it would be for a human to get in or out of it. It is not designed to actually work.
You would have to be dropped in by crane.
Yes, pretty much.
Let's see if I can.
Like a Hoyer lift, like they use for old.
And isn't the best feature? It's only a one-person car.
Yes.
Yes.
Well,
yes, it is.
You're going to buy a supercar to show off your friends, but you can't ever take them with you.
If you look at the interior decorating, like it has a lot of flashy use of like carbon fiber and stuff, but none of it really makes sense. Like it's not coated carbon fiber, so you get the texture, but it's not really the kind of thing that would actually last very long in a real application. It's just.
And to Evan's point, does this thing even have doors?
No, the glass top lifts off.
That's because that is
that's realistic.
It's like the Jets car.
It is, yeah.
That's yeah, that's not really realistic. That's the way everybody wants to enter their car.
Hang on, I had a Hot Wheel when I was a kid that looked like that.
Like what my doodle sketches look like.
Yeah, I had a slot car that looked a lot like that, except it was green.
All right, let's see what else I can find.
It's an
And
That
they say it
picture I
has
posted that I emailed.
a water delivery system, like a Camelback or whatever, to give the driver water. But there's no piss jug, so like.
Yeah, I was going to say, water intake is usually not my problem.
For those long drives when you're.
Oh,
That first
God.
picture that you had up there, it really showed how it had absolutely no clearance. If the car could move, you would never be able to get over a speed bump in it.
Right.
Or not
Let's
even
talk about
speed
what this
bump,
is really about, though. I mean, it's not about this car, right? This car will never go into production. So what they were trying, and I'm trying to turn this as best I can.
Good luck.
What they're trying to do,
Into a brick wall.
what they're trying to do is show that they are creating a platform where they can build multiple different EVs on for different size vehicles on one platform.
Whatever.
Yeah,
With
but
one
why
big
wouldn't you
dorsal
build one
fin.
that worked?
So, Danny, I mean, I think that's a really important point. In that, here's what I in fact I put this on Twitter or something yesterday or the day before. What's sad is that they've done all this work and spent all this money to develop this variable platform architecture, as they're calling it. It's basically what everyone's doing these days, is making a standard chassis and then putting different sheet metal on top of it,
Right.
or
Yeah.
plastic or carbon fiber or whatever. So good for them. Cheers. I mean, that's wonderful. But that was so terrible. That was so not enough to talk about, that they had to make up this plastic Batmobile.
Right.
Who made that decision?
They probably wanted to show something so that the government of Nevada that gave them a gazillion tax credits wouldn't think they were scammers or something. I mean,
I'm not convinced. I'm still
yeah.
thinking,
I would have think it'd be a lot more practical to show a vehicle that they really had a chance of going into production with, or
Right.
something close to it, that you knew that, hey, there's a market for this car. You look at what they put up there, and it's like, okay, you've got a bunch of dreamers on staff, and they've put together this wonderful concept that will never be sold at all.
It reminds me of the episode where Homer Simpson designs a car.
yes.
Oh, thank you. There it is.
Exactly.
Nice one, Danny.
Yeah, high impact styrofoam blocks there.
There's the car waiting for its wheels to be glued on.
The market for single-seater cars, it's huge, especially
Yeah.
ones you have to climb on top of to get in.
Here's the other thing that I don't get. No, I'm sorry, Paul. Go ahead.
And they cost well over $100,000. Yeah, they'll sell a lot of those.
Here's the other thing. So you've got this billionaire guy dumping all this money into factories, into marketing, into over what the figure seems to change. Sometimes it's 400, sometimes it's 700 global employees that Faraday Future already has, and they've been working for 18 months.
Mm-hmm.
And if you watch their promotional videos, yeah, that's a good one there. If you watch their promotional videos, you see the senior vice president of marketing, that's the highest official that we've met. We haven't met the CEO or anything like that. They're still keeping that really on the down low. And the head designer, literally on a lark, one day, like he's sketching out the Batmobile at a meeting because he can't pay attention, and the senior vice president of marketing comes over and says, "Oh, that's awesome. We're going to build that." Literally, that's the story of this concept car. This is what happens when adults have way too much money that they don't care about.
Yeah, right.
I mean, they just... Okay, sorry. That was my rant.
Yeah.
Ooh, I really shut everybody down. I'm sorry.
I just want this topic to go away.
I just remember several years ago watching the very first Fisker or Fisker Karma, whatever.
Oh yeah.
Watching that first Fisker commercial and just, oh my God, yeah, absolutely falling in love. I want to buy this car. I will remortgage my house to buy this car. And I have to admit, I wanted Faraday to be kind of the same thing. I wanted them to come out with something as unrealistic as it might have been. I wanted to be impressed, and instead I got that.
Yeah.
Okay, enough. Our new favorite sacrificial goat.
Speaking of Fisker, did anybody see the video this week about how when the gas engine runs, the exhaust comes right out?
Yeah.
Goes into the passenger compartment.
That was a great
Beautiful.
video.
Yeah.
I'm shocked they could find one that ran.
I thought the gas engines were all made out of styrofoam again.
Yeah.
They actually weren't real.
It's too bad it didn't take out Bieber.
Oh my.
Maybe that was like the whole plan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, Bieber could be watching right now.
Speaking of plans. No, speaking of bad plans, my favorite headline this week, my very favorite headline for 2016 so far, the Automotive News on January 6th, hey, that's today, published an article with this headline, quote, Toyota joins Ford in bid to resist Apple-Google car screen dominance.
Prius killer # Tesla Apple car Google Drive.
Yeah, they probably. I don't see Tesla in there anywhere. They must have fired the writer.
It's probably buried in the HTML. So this is basically like two companies join forces to stay in the past, right? Isn't that what message they're sending here?
Well, now wait. How is this? How does this compare to what Paul was talking about with his 2 minutes?
No, but it's the same article, just different headlines.
Yeah.
So it has some potential, but we got to wait and see.
I don't, Russell, I watched the video that was put out by someone, I don't even remember anymore, and they were driving and trying to use CarPlay and, whatever, the Android Auto, and they were having difficulties. They pointed out that there were several shortcomings.
Sure.
It is a 1.0 product, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Okay, and I haven't seen 2.0 yet, but this is, and I'm, like Danny was trying to, see the other side, previously. I'm trying to look at this and say, okay, well maybe Google and Apple shouldn't take over the entire auto infotainment space. So maybe this is something where they're standing up and saying, you don't have to sell out to these guys. There's already something in place. This is open source. You can build your own apps, and regardless of whether someone has one type of phone or another type of phone, you don't have to support them both. You just have this one common platform.
I get a vision more of a toddler with his arms crossed refusing to eat his green beans.
My only rejoinder to that, Tony, would be, cheers to you for looking at that positive side. Number one, sincerely, good for you. But the car makers have had how many years to do this right? How many?
Oh, yeah. But
honestly, how many years have they, and they just keep screwing it up, and they intentionally make it as difficult to use and as bizarre and as non-play friendly with other things as possible because they're greedy.
Well,
because
they're car makers. They're not electronics experts.
Yeah, so then just put a docking station with a power port, and you can put your phone on there, and you're done.
Wait. There is no way the Tesla owner is going to get away with that statement.
Right.
Did you just say they're car makers? They're not electronic companies?
Oh, well, no, and Tesla's doing a relatively crappy job with their interface as well. it's definitely got some deficiencies, but at the same time, they're showing a paradigm shift into a new direction in automotives. But you can tell me Ford and Toyota are who you want building your next big interface that's going to work supremely not only with what exists now, but what's anticipated to be developed in the next 5 years or 10 years that you're going to own your car? I don't.
The trite cliche that I would throw in there is lead, follow, or get out of the way. And they've failed to lead. They haven't followed anybody very well. So just get out of my way.
Yeah.
Just give me a plug. Just give me an aux in, or you know what I mean? Like we've all talked about this before. Put a hole there for an iPad, or whatever. It's just they've screwed this up over and over and over again, and I get it because it's all in the name of getting that extra $2,000 or $3,000 out of you for the upgraded sound system or the nav package or the Intune Suite or My Sync or My Ford or whatever it is.
I mean, has anybody seen a factory nav other than Tesla's, which is Google, that's good? Like, they all suck.
Yeah.
Correct.
Right.
Well,
Right.
and the Tesla factory nav sucks. I mean, it does not work well. I mean, the navigation directions are often way off base. It's a clunky interface if you try to use the system where
Google Maps.
It is, and it's beautiful to look at. And it looks good, but I'm going to tell you that the algorithms are not very good.
So they're using a Google API basically and using their own software interface on top of it.
Right, exactly. And so, especially if you're trying to nav supercharger to supercharger, it will take you on some wild ass routes. And,
Okay.
But at least you get free over-the-air updates. And you don't have to pay $150 for them.
Right,
And the
you get them all the
nice
time.
17-inch screen, so you don't have to squint to read it.
Right, yeah. It's beautiful to look at. And if you double check the route and you make sure you get it going where you want to go in the route you want to go, it does a great job and it's accurate. And there's multiple options. You can have north up. You can have direction of travel up. You can have it where it actually. My favorite feature is it shows the whole map of your route, and the closer you get, it like zooms into it so that you just see.
Oh, that's nice.
It's very nice. It's a really great feature. So the closer you get, the road and the little turns become more important. You can see it. So.
Is there a version of Waze that runs on the Tesla screen?
Not really. Somebody developed a little web page that you can go to. It's called Waze for Incidents, and you can pull it up on the browser, and it tracks. It's not perfect, and it just shows the major incidents that are reported on there, and you can't feed back into it yet. But at least you can see cops that are on there and major road hazards and traffic on there.
Well, it's funny you mentioned Waze, Paul, because there's the this thing that is called MirrorLink, and this is from the article talking about Toyota and Ford. And I haven't seen this, but it says that MirrorLink lets drivers run navigation and entertainment apps on their smartphones using large icons on their dashboard screens, which makes me wonder if MirrorLink allows you to run an app on your phone and then see the display on your car's bigger monitor.
Well, here's what doesn't make sense to me. In this article, it says MirrorLink, which lets drivers run navigation, etc., was created by the Car Connectivity Consortium, a group of car makers and phone manufacturers, including Volkswagen, General Motors, Hyundai, Samsung, and HTC. And then the quote next says, "We want 25 nav apps. We want 15 music players. We want things that people haven't even thought of to come to this space." Alan Ewing, the consortium's president, said in an interview, "For Apple and Google, quote, they're not there to create an environment for app developers to do cool things. They're there to enable their own businesses."
What?
Now, this makes no sense when you look at the list of manufacturers that are part of this consortium. Volkswagen just announced
Who cares about them? They're dead.
And CarPlay. GM.
They'll never sell.
CarPlay and Android Auto. Hyundai, CarPlay and Android Auto. Samsung, obviously, they're big time on the Android bandwagon. And HTC, the only reason they're still in business is because of Android. So,
hang on, I heard Samsung is coming out with a car, like to compete with the Apple car.
They're waiting for the Apple car to come out.
So they copy it exactly.
With a bigger screen.
Right.
At any rate, I think we've probably destroyed this one.
Well, now I don't have a segue, Nanny.
Sorry.
Don't be sorry. Can I just tell you how much I hate insurance?
I think you have over the years.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of, you know what it is? It's insurance companies. The concept of insurance is a wonderful one, but it seems to be different. I remember when I was 16 and I got my license, and they told me that when I was 25, if I was good, my insurance rates would go down.
That happened, didn't it?
Yeah. I'm 54. Honestly, the only good thing I can say about my insurance right now is that I'm paying the same amount now as when I was 16. Okay?
Inflation
Ironically
adjusted.
enough. Yeah, not inflation adjusted. So obviously, but it's so here's the thing, and we've kind of come around this a few times. There was an interesting article in the Washington Post this week talking about the integration of big data, basically your cell phone data, and insurers, and how insurers more and more are leveraging what used to be just their underwriters saying how many miles a month do you drive, and then going, okay, for a person who drives this many miles, the chances are they're going to get in an accident, blah blah blah. The insurance companies have lots of underwriting data in this regard, but now what they're able to do in some cases is leverage data directly out of the vehicle.
Thanks to Subaru.
Thanks to Subaru, if you opt in, supposedly, then they get literally every bit of information: your speed, where you are, how long you stop. All of this goes directly to your insurance
Your
company.
acceleration, your braking.
Swerving. Yeah.
So, and of course, good drivers. And here's this, it's like that fantasy that everybody in the United States is going to be rich someday. So of course, everybody's a good driver, so everybody's going to get a discount. When in fact, we know that that's the little tiny carrot, and the big sting in the tail is actually most of you are going to find that we found an exciting new way to raise your insurance rates lately.
Right.
Yeah, just like they're starting to use credit reports now too.
For insurance?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Wow.
Your credit score directly impacts your insurance rate.
Wow, nice.
Yeah. Oh, that's nice.
Damn, I wish I'd have thought of that.
Yeah. If only you had, you could be rich. Instead, you've just got to be Evan.
See, yeah, one of the things
with a P90D in the driveway.
who doesn't realize that his insurance company is getting information about his car racing at high speeds through downtown St. Louis right now.
Even if he's not doing high speeds, he can certainly accelerate quickly, and they're going to ding you for that too.
Right.
Yeah. So is anybody? I mean, yeah.
One of the paragraphs in this article says the app, there's an application you can get, is part of Liberty Mutual's Right Track program, which gives drivers a 5% discount on their rates for enrolling, and additional discounts up to 30% for heeding the app's guidance on driving safely. But yeah, like Russell said, how many people are going to get a 30% discount? No. That's not going to happen.
Yeah. Whenever it says up to 30, it means like it never happens.
Yeah, and then like we found out so many years ago when TomTom was selling drivers' location data to the local police, so the police knew how to set up speed traps, and
And then they sell the consumers the locations of the speed trap. So they were like,
there it is. Yeah.
Add our new speed trap feature.
Yeah.
Sheriffs are like, ah!
So
yeah. Go ahead.
I was going to say, they literally can geo-track you if they so desire, which means they know where the bars are, they know where your home is, they know how long you've been at the bar before you go home.
Who on the panel has been offered from an insurance company to put that dongle on their car to track data, and they say they will give you a discount? Has anyone been offered that? I have.
Well, I've seen the commercials for it, but I haven't, from my agent, I haven't.
And I've never accepted it just for the fact that it just seems wrong. Like, it just seems that they are going to collect everything, and it would turn into a bad situation for anybody that goes one centimeter outside the law. Like, I could just see it being a real problem.
Right.
Right.
I've
I'm
talked
sorry,
about
you
it.
Go ahead, Patrick. I'm sorry.
I've talked about it on the show before. This is not for insurance purposes, but I did sign up for the Origo program. And so I have one of those tracking devices in my Honda Passport, which I rarely drive. But I can go on there and see exactly every trip I've done, and if they say I accelerated too hard or if I had to brake too hard. You can also set up zones where if you enter or leave one of those zones, it'll text you. So if you want to keep track of your spouse or whatever, you can.
Oh my
Go figure.
gosh.
There's
Wow.
a really interesting paragraph that I also think has to really feel the depth of the insidious nature of where this could go, where this will go. I'm sorry, where this will go. You have to kind of take this in. So, quoting from the article in the Washington Post, quote, consumers who don't want to be tracked don't have to sign up. But when such programs become more common, opting out could serve as a red flag to insurance companies, according to Renee Stevens, Vice President of U.S. Quality for J.D. Power. And that right there is it.
Yep.
Right.
Because
Right.
all of a sudden, then, all we need to see is like whatever percent of the American public start to go along with this exciting app on their phone. And then it's like, if you don't sign up, now you're paying a penalty.
Yeah, or every manufacturer like Subaru starts to partner with insurance companies that in order to use GM's OnStar program,
Right.
yeah, you're agreeing to share certain data with State Farm.
Yeah, because everybody reads those contracts in gory detail, right? Every line.
And rest assured, just like Equifax does right now, and TransUnion with your credit information, these insurance companies will make a business of selling your driving information. So it won't just be with one company, it will be with all companies, and all of a sudden you'll have a driving score that will affect your insurance rates. And
yeah, I do remember someone, and I believe this was on Prius Chat, that they had this in their car, and they were getting dinged by the insurer because they, if I remember correctly, they weren't braking sufficiently when they were making turns, and the way the driver, the way the driver positioned it was, you know, they know how fast they can take each turn, and so they coast down to the speed, and they make the turn without having to use their brakes, and then they accelerate out, and that's, you know, that's a hypermiling trick or tip, and that's one way to save fuel and not throw energy out the window. Yep. But the app or the rating, whatever, you know, had some algorithm that said if you're turning your wheel this much, then you should be applying the brake a certain amount. And the fact that those two things didn't line up, they were dinging him as a reckless driver.
Well, and that's the thing, is that this stuff can never come up. It can never know the situation that you're in that required driving.
like redlining, it's an excuse to raise your rates. Insurance companies are never looking for a reason to lower your rate. They're looking for a reason to raise your rate. That's the business model. And I mean, I think believing something else is pleasant, but it's not necessarily very realistic. Let's move on, because I'm getting really depressed all of a sudden. I want to talk about something fun, and except it's not my topic. It's Cooper's topic. So I'm going to dump this in his lap.
Which one is this? Is this about my new acquisition?
This is about your ride, my brother.
My ride, huh?
You need to. What did you get, Danny?
Does it have a glowing brake fin?
What drives you?
Da-na-na-na-na. So my lease was up on my Prius plug-in, and I loved my Prius plug-in, and I tried to buy my Prius plug-in, and Toyota Financial made it very hard for me to buy my car. And so after several months of trying to work on this, I finally threw my hands up in the air, and I have now leased.
Oh.
I have joined the EV Nation, and I have leased a BMW i3.
Woohoo! Congratulations.
Hey.
Sort
you.
of join the EV Nation.
It's not
I've got the range extender.
You got the
so-
range extender,
Ah.
yeah.
Yes. So here's my car.
Oh.
Okay,
Oh,
I'm putting it.
Show it for everybody here.
there you go.
Wait, wrong one. Wrong one.
Wow.
That was the first one. That was the first one.
Yeah.
That actually is a i3.
Yikes.
The i3 is mostly, it's got a carbon fiber body. It's mostly carbon fiber and plastic. And this one caught on fire due to fireworks that were left in a trash can nearby. And this is what's left of it.
See, now I thought this one was your car.
No, that's Rodney's actually, though.
Yeah, that's Rodney's.
This is my car. Oh, well, closer. It's closer to being my car.
Maybe the one on the left.
One of them. One of them is your car.
One of these is Danny's car. Guess which one he has?
Okay.
Let me show you the actual one. Here it is.
Oh, okay.
There we go. So I got the range extender i3. BMW's having amazing deals on these things. I could basically lease this for $0 down cheaper than I could get a Leaf or a Volt. Basically, most cars on the market, I was like, I just needed 4 wheels and at least 2 seats. And so I was looking at like the Chevy Cruze, and this thing ended up being just slightly more than a Chevy Cruze. So ended up being a great deal for me. I'm very, very happy with it.
So you already had a G1772 at home for the Prius?
No, actually, I never had a level 2 charger with the Prius. I've only done level 1, and I meant to send you a screenshot tonight, Evan, actually, of my the app and showing how I started charging it this afternoon at like 4 o'clock, and it's not going to be done until like 8 a.m. tomorrow.
So you're going to get one, right?
Yes, I will be installing one. But it's a lot of fun. The BMW guys say that it's actually the fastest BMW from 0 to 30 that they make, other than the i8 probably.
Really? The M5's damn quick.
Yeah. Well, 0 to 30 though.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
0
They
to
didn't
30
say
is
0
the
to
key.
60.
Yeah, I did not say 0 to 60.
Yeah.
No, but I really
0 to 2
know,
is the fastest.
when you
Around
think about
town,
it,
the 0 to 30 matters.
the i3 is basically a Volt. You know, it's you've got about 80 miles of range. I averaged about 64 on like 75 miles an hour on the interstate, which is the only time I've fully depleted the battery so far. And then after that, the little 2-cylinder engine kicks in and extends the range out, and it holds a very pathetic 2 gallons of gas.
How far does that get you?
Really? That's it?
How far does 2 gallons get you, though?
About 70 miles. It's about 35 miles to the gallon.
And how much of that 2 gallons is usable?
Every bit of it that I can tell.
Wow.
Now,
Isn't there a hack or something to extend
there
it?
is. You can actually increase it up to 2.4, but in the U.S., BMW had to decrease it to 1.9 because in order to get the carbon credits as it being a electric car, its range has to be greater in electric mode than in any.
Yep.
There he is.
So
They
take
made a whole new
the brick
battery.
out of the gas tank and
Well, it's all software. It's just software controlled.
Yeah.
So-
Wow.
But so clearly,
did they have BBW write their software? Or?
Burn.
So I think of the fact that my wife and I live 350 miles from either of our parents. Now, I find it hard to believe that even a range extending vehicle with a 2-gallon tank would be a fun car to drive 300 miles. Because you would have to plan every single interstate exit so that you know that you can make it to the next gas station.
So before I bought the car, BMW actually has a nice thing, which anybody out there can go do. you can borrow an i3 for a weekend, and it's an extended test drive. And so I did an extended test drive in a range extending vehicle, and I planned it on a weekend that I'd be going down to Columbia for a football game, because and that's 100 miles. So about 120 miles is the max that I would typically drive by myself without the whole family with me. And so I did it on that trip, and it was interesting that like you say, Tony, you have to think, well, I've made it to Columbia, but now I'm out, so I have to fill up in Columbia, and then where's my next stop between Columbia and home, because I won't make it all the way, and I've never had to stop between the two.
Right.
Mm-hmm. So it is something that you have to plan on. But on the same token, if I was doing a 350-mile trip, I might try it in the car just to have fun with it, but otherwise I'd probably...
Yeah, definitely. If my wife and I were driving to our parents', we would take the Prius. I mean, that's just...
Well, and BMW actually has a... and it depends on dealer participation, which we know how wonderful all dealers are.
Right.
They have a loaner program where you can borrow a gas... a gas BMW for a couple days.
Oh, that's kind of
Actually,
fun.
Yeah.
I'll just point out there's a great app for your smartphone called iExit.com that tells you what's on every exit of every interstate if you're going on a road trip. So if you want to know where the next exit with a gas station is, or a truck stop, or a Wendy's, it's pretty handy.
Well, and I will say, we were talking about telematics systems earlier. I've been pretty impressed with BMW so far. Their navigation system is quick, and it's going from the Prius to the BMW system is.
Does it work when the car is moving? Can you actually touch the screen?
You can do everything you want while it's moving, which is.
Gee, what a concept!
Yeah, it's. And so far I've only killed 2 people, so it's.
Great.
Yeah.
I'll be curious to hear how you find the range extender as you're using it, and if you got any inclines, because I have heard mixed reports on that.
What's weird is I heard people talk about that. I've read about it, the whole incline issue, and basically what Mark's alluding to is that when you're in range extending mode, the battery doesn't kick in range extending mode until 5%, I think, or 6% with SOC, state of charge, left on the battery. And so when you're going up an ascent up a hill, you're basically having a 2-cylinder engine and less than 5% of the battery trying to push you up the hill, and it wasn't working out well for people. I actually haven't come into that situation yet. Most of the drives that I've been doing on it so far haven't had large hills. I was thinking about testing it and going up into the Boone area, which is towards some Appalachian mountains, to see how mine would react. But they've supposedly fixed the programming on that in some software updates, which unfortunately they don't do like Tesla does over the air, even though they have the capabilities. That it's a fully internet connected car. You have to take it into the dealership and have them do the updates, and so it's a bit of a pain.
Over the dealer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it was
over the dealer. Nice. OTD.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody mentioned earlier that it's like a Volt. Well, it's not. They had a different design in mind, very different. And the range extender.
It's like a reserve tank, is
right. It was a limp home motor, get you to the next place where you can charge up, keep you mostly on electric, where the Volt is intended to be no compromise when you switch to gas. That was not what they were intending for the i3.
Well, Chevy does have the mountain mode for basically the same purpose, right, Mark?
That would be for really mountain ranges. Anything in my area of the country where they're just hills, it plays no effect. You don't need mountain mode at any point.
Okay, see, because on normal hills in my area, and I'm in the upstate. Where I drove mine so far has been mostly the upstate of South Carolina to western North Carolina, and that's not flat country, but it's not mountainous. So I didn't have any issues at all in range extending mode with the car.
That's good. That's really good.
Try it in Colorado though.
Well, yeah, that's totally different. But I've seen people complain about it, about what Mark is saying in like parts of California, which you think of California as being, Southern California being mostly flat, unless you're going out, in the canyon areas and stuff.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Pacific Coast Highway.
Over the Grapevine.
Yeah, there's actually a lot of mountains.
And then I want to challenge that statement Tony made earlier where he has a 350-mile drive. That's not the target use for this vehicle.
Oh, I know.
Yeah, I mean, you meant you could
If
pick
you're
any...
a two-car household, you take your other car.
That's what
Right.
Yeah, that's what I said. That's what I was getting at.
Because you could pick any one of our cars and say, oh, here's a case where it would work horribly.
Sure.
I know. Jeez,
yeah.
Get off me, man. Come on.
I've got 2 tons of gravel to move. Can I borrow your Prius?
Yeah.
I would also take issue with,
Towing the travel trailer with a Prius, that works real good.
Well, Evan, and when I announced that I bought the car on Facebook, Evan actually responded saying that he had test driven it and that it basically wasn't. He was wondering how it was practical for me. Is that the gist of what you were asking?
Well, yeah, mainly because of your growing family. I mean, there's no space in that thing at all. I mean, I don't think you could. You'd have a hard time probably getting 2 car seats yourself and your wife in there now, right?
Well, we've done it, but it's a 4-seater. It's not a 5-seater, and
Right.
as
And I bet
think
it's
I've said on the
tight.
show, we've got the 3rd kid coming. But like I responded to Evan on Facebook, like I can count on probably 2 hands, maybe 1 hand, the number of times that we rode as a family of 4 anywhere of consequence in the Prius. We were always. My wife has an Odyssey minivan, and that's just a lot more comfortable to take.
And I think your circumstances that makes a lot of sense for you. My first thoughts go to my circumstances, and when my kids were young, there were many times where, because of our chaotic schedule, my wife would have the 3 kids in the back of her car, dropping them off at school in the morning, and then I would have to pick them up, all 3 kids, in the back of my car in the afternoon because she was still at work and I got off work earlier and things like that. And you guys have a situation that is much more amenable to being able to coordinate. Okay, you've got to do all 3 kids today. You take the big car. I'll take the little car.
Yeah, and our kids are younger now than I think yours were when you're probably facing some of those situations.
No, I ordered the Prius before I learned that our daughter was. Actually, I took delivery of the Prius 1 month before we learned my wife was pregnant with my daughter, and so we're like, oh crap. we
Should have bought the minivan.
We had a time where we had 3 car seats in the back of the Prius.
Wow.
Well, and we would have to buy new car seats if we were to use the Prius for that use.
And we
because
did.
3 car seats don't fit in the back of the Prius.
Yeah, those big Britec or whatever the hell they are. They
got
no way they would fit
Gigantor
back there.
ones.
No way.
But the girls are actually very comfortable in the back of the i3 so far. I've had the car seats loaded into it the last 2 days, taking Stella to school and stuff, and I keep waiting for my 6.5-month pregnant wife to complain about being pushed forward in the seat or whatever. She's really enjoyed riding in it, so so far it's working out well.
On their laps,
Basically, yeah. And it can barely hold our single stroller in the back in the front. So it's just enough. But it's a 3-year lease. I wouldn't buy this car. Just like I think I've advocated from the beginning, I wouldn't buy any electric car or plug-in car right now. So I was originally looking for like a 2-year lease. Then with the way the residuals were working out, it was a better deal for me to just go ahead and go up to a 36-month lease. So we'll trade out for 3 years, and then hopefully I'm hoping that Toyota will have a Prius plug-in product that I'll be able to get back into.
Without shame.
Yeah.
Good luck.
But I will
Mr.
report
Cooper.
back more on my i3 experience as.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to hear your viewpoint on it as time goes along.
I want photos of your first Gamecock's tailgate out of that thing.
So did they use the ICE for cabin heat or only for range extender?
Just for range extender. So it's got a. I assume it's got a heat pump system like the plug-in prototype actually had.
Okay.
which will drain your battery, which will then turn on the range extender. So there you go.
Hey.
Yay! 2 gallons of gas. Bye-bye.
But the girls,
Look at that.
the girls climbed around in it one day without the car seats in the back. And
I was going to say
the
that's those are transport-approved car seats there.
Yes. This was 100% legal. This was me turned around taking a picture at 70 miles an hour with my
Because you were making a left turn with no signal.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes, because it has autopilot, right? So you push the cruise control and it drives itself.
Yeah, I don't think I have to.
Right.
Wow, I can't believe you showed a picture. I'm speechless.
Oh, of the kids?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't often do that.
No, you don't.
You should more. They're awesome kids.
They are.
Well, Mr. Cooper, I look forward to hearing what you love and hate as you spend more time with this vehicle, because that's. I remember how I felt about my Prius, my 2012 Prius C when I first got it, and then like after I had it for a year and then 2 years, and then I was like ready to like stage an accident to get out of it. So, but I mean, it's even long tests, are kind of contrived. You really have to live with something and see what it won't do and what it will do over a long period of time. That's not expecting every car to be universal. That's just living with the vehicle.
Danny, have you driven it in snow yet? Because I mean, that i3 has like motorcycle tires.
Yeah, they're very small tires. I have not driven it in snow yet, but a lot of people switch out the tires to some Blizzaks in the winter. But when it rarely snows here, thing shut down to the point because of the ice that accompanies it usually. Yeah. But we don't usually go out in it anyway.
Yeah, I mean, for you, this is a around town errand car.
Yeah, with the occasional 100, 150 mile. 300 mile round trip type of drive.
Very occasional, because like you said, you're going somewhere. You're probably going to take the Sienna, or I guess maybe you're meeting someone down there.
Odyssey, not Sienna.
Yeah. Oh, Odyssey.
Same thing. It's a minivan. Like.
It's a swagger van.
No. We're definitely not the same thing. But yeah.
Don't let my wife hear this episode.
The Honda Odyssey.
Thank you.
Which I have ridden in a darn fine minivan.
Do you know the Honda Odyssey is one of the widest cars made? It doesn't look wide, but you measure the width, it's huge. It's like this wide. Because we put it on, we had one in our shop on the alignment rack, and it was falling off the edges. It was wider than a pickup truck. Go figure.
I'm convinced that minivans are the probably like mile to scratch ratio is the highest on a minivan of any other product out there, because I have actually run that thing into a post, like one of those gigantic concrete posts in a parking garage. That's because it's so
wide.
Yeah.
So looks like the Odyssey is 79.2 inches wide.
Okay.
Model X is 82.
Oh, well, there you go.
I know, 'cause that Model X is really wide.
You about to have some girth on me, baby.
Yeah.
Those Falcon wings don't make it skinnier.
No.
No.
The i3 is a comfortable
How wide's a Model S?
Not much less. 78, 79, something like that.
Wow.
And for those of you listening in Canada, that's 78 or 79 inches. Just wanted to help.
77.3. So the Odyssey's 79.
It's 63 Celsius.
Okay, well, I got to wrap this up because Tony's giving me updates on the chat of hockey, and Patrick it's a school night for him, so we have to be good. And I think we beat up on the BMW i3. So, well, Danny, thanks for that.
Yeah, I'm excited to tell you more about it the more time I get it. So far, I think I have 400 miles on it, so I'll have to get some more.
You're still in the honeymoon phase.
Yeah, so...
Still looking for a reason to run out to 7-Eleven and get something.
I actually have run out to the store several times for no reason at all.
3 more hours of charging, he'll be able to make it all the way to 7-Eleven.
I'm sensing a little sibling rivalry here.
It does have the fast charger, thank goodness, too. The SAE combo.
Yeah.
And how many places can you use it where you are?
That's exactly where I was
There's
going.
actually one in Charlotte. No, there's 2 in Charlotte. One is free and one is not. And then, but see,
and are they both at the BMW dealer?
No, they don't have any at the BMW dealer.
Oh.
One is at a AAA automotive thing, and then another one is just in the middle of some town square. And then I picked up the car in Greenville, South Carolina, and drove it back to Charlotte, which is about 115 miles. And on that drive, you drive by the BMW manufacturing facility that's in Spartanburg, South Carolina, and they have either 2 or 3 quick chargers over there. I almost stopped just for the hell of it, even though it was only like 15 miles that I had already lost all off of my state of charge. So it wouldn't have really done any big charging on it. But
very cool. Let's get to our shout-outs and wrap this show up. Mr. Guzik, would you lead off?
Sure. I'm just going to plug my business, Boulder Hybrids in Boulder, Colorado. Anybody with a hybrid or an EV, we can help you out. Fix your car, make it better, save you money.
That must be boulderhc.com.
Oh, that's right. I forgot the website. Thank you.
No, that's okay. And definitely look up Paul if you have any questions. He is the man. Dr. Fusco.
Yeah.
Since we're enjoying you in beautiful 1080p and stereo surround sound now.
It's nice, huh?
It's amazing.
Stereo. All right. So my usual. I don't have anything fun to plug, but anybody interested in Tesla and more information, there's a really good website, TeslaMotorsClub.com, and you'll find me hanging out there.
I think Cooper
sorry,
on you.
Like with the TeslaChat.com website you have been talking about forever and haven't developed yet. Wow.
Just wait for my plugs.
I'm waiting.
Let's move on to Mr. Patient Patrick Connor.
Hello, I am with the Oregon Electric Vehicle Association. You can find us at oeva.org. And I've got a couple plugs. Earlier, you mentioned driving in the snow. So for me, one thing that's been great is auto socks. They're these things that go over your tires, and they're cloth, so they're light. I leave them in the back of my car all year. A whole lot easier than chains, and they work great.
What?
Yeah, auto socks. Yep.
I've got to look this up.
Are they like wool socks? They keep your tires warm?
Yes, exactly. They're from a Norwegian company, and they've got great grip. And
what the hell do the Norwegians know about snow?
Wow. Wow. Okay. Well, hey, thanks for that, Patrick. Nice tip. Tony, talk
Sorry,
to me.
I'm reading about auto socks.
You need to go to the Facebook page.
And I want to give a shout out to our, I don't want to say fans, because that just sounds too weird, but everyone who interacts with us. And you're the reason we do this, and you're what makes this so fun. And that's, Eric Torstenson and Justin Fonz, who I know personally in Milwaukee, and Lee Moon, always interacting. Diane Whitmire, who we all know out in California. Want to give a great hi, how do you do, and welcome to the page to Glorian Flores Fernandez, who recently liked our page. Thank you very much. Thanks to everyone. Andrew Bell. I'm just scrolling through here, and I'm just seeing names that come up. So I did Mark Coughlin, whoever, Terry Nahr, thanks to everyone at ESPN Sports Center. I want to give a shout out. I also, on a personal bit, if you use Flipboard, I have a Flipboard magazine that is called Green Rides, and I put some of the articles that we talk about up on Green Rides, and while I'm flipping through, I throw things into the magazine, stuff that I find interesting. So you want to find out what I'm reading, what I think is interesting, go on Flipboards, look up Green Rides, and subscribe, and you'll see what I'm up to on a day-to-day basis.
Thank you very much, Mr. Schaefer. Next up, Mr. Mark Coughlin, who is going to be our on-the-scene reporter at the North American International Auto Show next week.
Woohoo!
Got my pass ready to get in.
Cool.
If you have interest in seeing what I'm seeing, I'm going to try to feed the Twitter feed from the site. So please follow our Twitter feed, and we'll try to keep things up to date and send a number of photos and videos. And looking forward to it. So can hardly wait.
And are you going to party hard on the What Drives Us expense account?
Yeah.
I'm still waiting for that credit card to arrive. So
I
I
think that was a $10 iTunes gift card.
that money that we owe you, that check is coming.
okay, very good, very good.
It's on its way.
It's going to get there at the same time my pass arrives.
Yeah.
Oh.
Oh. Now we're really getting into the butt hurt. Well, before it gets any uglier, Cooper, take it away, please.
Well, you want to talk about what we've kind of been talking about, Russell? For What Drives Us? What Drives the US?
I would love to.
Well, with the coming new, well, not coming new year, with the new year that's here, we're kind of working on a new, not direction, but a new utility for whatdrives.us, the website that hosts currently all the podcasts for the show, and turn it into a bit of a news hub for all the green content that's out there, or all fuel content that's out there. So look for those changes hopefully soon. Russell and I are kind of currently working on getting some bugs worked out and figuring out exactly how we're going to do it. So watch for that soon. I think it could be a really cool way to bring together all of the fun content that's out there and help people find new content that they otherwise haven't been seeing.
This is code for the panelists are all fired, isn't it?
You're all being
No,
replaced.
they're cutting our pay by like 100%.
Right.
It'll have articles from the Daily Kanban.
Instead of paying you nothing, we're going to pay you
10 times nothing.
10 times nothing.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Welcome to
Twice
What Drives the US, a subsidiary of BuzzFeed.
We're going to get bills in the mail.
Absolutely. You were on the show, you owe me $25. So that's how we're going to pay for the new website. But actually, I think one of the cool things about it, too, is that we want to make room so that the panelists and all of the contributors, some of the panelists you don't see very often or don't see every week, all of them are involved. Everybody likes to write and take pictures and talk about stuff and do videos. So what we wanted to also do is create a space for that. So it's not just the show; it's a place for, Tony talking about hypermiling or me ranting. Well, no, there's lots of places for me.
We need a whole new show.
Oh God, I'm working on that. But what drives the
Me
U.S.
telling you to check your oil.
Yeah, exactly. Check your oil or your
Shit, I
what is
haven't
it,
done
your
that
engine's
in
going to
ages.
grenade.
So watch for that in the coming weeks, we hope.
Yeah.
All right.
Cool.
And then on a more personal level, I am working on some new sites that are going to be launching very soon because I've finally got all the technology in place that will enable me to do it. So here's a little tease on the last three are all the same, but we're looking to add to the Prius Chat family basically in the coming weeks. So keep an eye out for that. We'll be launching Volt Chat and Ionic Chat pretty soon. So keep an eye out. I'll let you guys know.
Can't wait for the trademark attorneys to. They're already drafting.
Yeah. Is this going to be like Elon Musk soon, or what kind of soon timetable are we talking?
Like Faraday Future soon, maybe.
Faraday Future soon, yeah.
Yeah.
No, actually, I finalized all the software today, so
All right.
hopefully, like in the coming couple weeks, and Russell or Evan, you and I should be talking soon as well.
All right.
There you go.
Bring it.
And just because I'm so good at this, if you have a Prius and you need accessories for your Prius, there's only one place to go, and that's priuschat.com/shop. Go to the Prius Chat shop. Danny's kids, those cute little girls, he doesn't feed them if you don't buy stuff. Okay?
Right.
And those little
He didn't
girls
show their
pack-
feet in the picture. They don't have shoes.
They don't have shoes. Those little girls pack every order. Okay? He makes them work. So, for the love of God, please go to the... Wait, get that. Here we go. For the love of God, please. Go to the store, buy something. Get these kids...
I mean, they need car seats.
They need car seats, for God's sake.
They need
And
clothing.
socks.
They need shoes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's one barefoot there, yep.
Someday they're going to need an education. You know, just have a little sympathy, okay?
Daddy
That's
needs to update
priuschat.com.
to an i8.
That's priuschat.com/shop. You can find me at the priusownersgroup.com. That's priusownersgroup.com. No, I'm not going to spell it. If you have a Prius and you want to read somebody with a really, really nasty, mean kind of edge, that's me. Come on down. I don't really have anything else to say other than, yeah, it's just Prius news and commentary, and no, I don't care about your opinions. It's just me ranting. So,
It's some pretty good rants, too.
And
welcome
enjoy
to
it.
it.
you do not have Toyota as a sponsor, right?
Absolutely. I have no sponsors. Sort of surprise. That's sort of
That's why you can say what you want.
Yeah, absolutely. I can offend everyone, and frankly, I do try to offend everyone. So, enough of the rambling. I want to thank an amazing panel this week. My God, what a way to kick off 2016! Thank you, gentlemen, all of you.
Thank you.
Give yourself
Yeah,
some applause.
thanks. Yeah.
Thank you, and of course, all of the thousands of listeners and viewers out there. Maybe not right now, but eventually. Thank you. Download us next week and find out what drives us. This takes too long.